What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. It is the 10th day of November today, and here we are sitting at about $0.007 right now. 007, you guys. We're looking to reclaim it right now. It's a brand new week. We've got 6 days, 12 hours left in this week here. More like 6 days, 11 hours left. We've hit a high today of 00733. Hoping to reclaim those levels. Hopefully, we're not just starting the week off with a bang and then coming back down to close the week red. Sometimes that happens. In fact, if you look at every red week we've had, really since January, almost all of them have wicks to the upside. Almost all of them, which means that we started off the week up and then came down. I don't like starting off a week to the upside. I'd rather start off a week to the downside. It's more of a superstition, less technical analysis, more of a superstition. But let's get into the short-term stuff. Enough of my shenanigans. We'll look at the 1 hour time frame and then we'll zoom out from there. We'll see how real this movement upwards is, or is it fake? Is it something we can count on, or is it something that's just like every other pump we've had really since January? Looking at this here, it certainly does seem as though we are breaking out to the upside. The only thing that I don't like is that we don't have a lot of volume, right? Typically, whenever you move up, you want to see a lot of volume, especially when you're breaking out of a pattern like this, an ascending triangle, right? It's a very clean ascending triangle look right there. We're back testing it now for support. The idea here would be that we don't go back below this line here, that we don't go back below there. As long as we're not below there, I think we're fine. And maybe because OnyxCoin is less, lower market cap, lower liquidity, maybe this line is down here, right? It's less rigid. Maybe it's not exactly at these wicks. It depends. If we were dealing with like a Fortune 500 company, if we were dealing with a stock like Amazon, for example, I would respect it. I'd respect this to the wick, right? To the wick is what I'd want to see. But with something like this that has less liquidity and it's got a lower market cap overall, the rules are a little more flexible. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying whether you find support here at 0069 or here at 00697, I don't know if it makes that big of a difference, right? Where typically in like a large cap crypto like Bitcoin or a large cap stock like Amazon, you might respect the actual tipping points, right? Because it's a higher market cap overall. Anyways, just a thought there. Saying that we probably do move up higher as long as we hold this area of support. If we go lower, that's fine. If we break out of this, that's fine. That just means that instead of a breakout, what we have is a fake out. We'll likely come down, find a higher low somewhere below like 0066, and then come up to fight another day, maybe tomorrow or the next day, right? We're on the 1 hour time frame. But looking at this here with our indicators, the MACD looks positive. MACD makes me think that we want to continue running higher. Stochastics are positive overall. I mean, they're kind of wonky right here, but overall positive. You rejected the 50, but you rejected the overbought zone, but you're at the 50 and area to bounce. The RSI is bullish overall. You do have these higher lows and higher highs right here in this little trend. You can come down a little bit more and find support, whatever. But I do think we're either going to bounce literally right here or maybe just a little bit lower. 18 minutes left in this 1 hour time frame. I think it's a good sign. It's the first sign that we needed, right? The first thing that we were looking for in yesterday's video that I was talking about was a close above 007. So we start closing 4 hour candles like we just did our last 4 hour candle, okay? We start closing daily time frames above 007. That's awesome because what that implies is that our next target area to anticipate would be something all the way up at about 1 cent, right? Something all the way up here at about 1 cent, and maybe even higher than that. Maybe we go all the way up to this point where we found support before as resistance. Maybe we go just above 1 cent, but just below, just above, somewhere in this area is what my expected price outcome would be. We take a high to a low. Lines up pretty well with these the 2272 and the 2618. They're deeper extension targets, which in this kind of fib you would actually expect deeper extensions. 36% to a 47%, 50% move should be coming. I mean, we're looking at this on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, so I would think any day now. Maybe by the end of this next week, we've got 6 days and 11 hours left in, right? Looking pretty good here though. 4 hour indicators looking at the RSI overall, very nice, tenacious uptrend here. Higher lows, higher highs. We could be coming down a little bit, but still moving up. I think if we look at this here, right, with our higher highs, we've broken out. We might not come back down to touch this, which is good because if we came back down to touch this trend line here, we would be giving up this 007 level. We would be breaking back below and into the pattern and likely going down below 0066. Again, if the price goes below 0066. If we break back into this pattern and this was a fake out, it's not the end of the world. It's just at that point we'd probably look more to find support at 0066 or 006261 instead of breaking out from here. So hopefully we just continue to push higher. I want to see, hopefully by the time most of you guys watch this video, 3 hours, 16 minutes left in this 4-hour candle here, hopefully we are closing it green. We're moving higher, because if this candle closes green, which has 3 hours and 15 minutes left, it absolutely can. If this candle closes green, then instead of rejecting the overbought zone like this, will actually be piercing into it. So that would be a good look in itself. And again, the fact that we're kind of breaking out of this to the upside tells me that we really could continue to push higher into the overbought zone. And that would be nice to see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we pushed higher into the overbought zone. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow or the next day we were at 1 cent or higher, okay? 1 cent is a serious level to reclaim. The most serious level that we're watching right now as far as reclaiming goes would be about like 2 cents, right? 2 cents up here. Whenever we get above 2 cents, that's whenever it's really time to get excited. It's a bit of a ways away. From here to 2 cents will be exciting in itself, but I digress. 4-hour time frame here. The stochastics are bullish. MACD, the MACD, to be fair, is crossing above the 0 right now, and typically, again, we do expect that you consolidate for a day to 3 days after you cross above the 0. So maybe we get a little bit of a push. Maybe we do, in fact, go to like 0085, 009, just below 1 cent there, and then we consolidate for like a day or 3, and then we continue to rally, something like that. Sometimes we do push through the 0 on the 4-hour MACD, and we push through, and that's welcome as well. But typically, I mean, the last time that we broke above the 0 was here. Let's just see. I mean, you broke above it, and you did move higher rather immediately, but then you kind of consolidated and you actually tapered off. That's not a good example. I mean, here you broke above the 0, and again you started to consolidate, went down. We probably don't have any good examples of continuation, because typically OnyxCoin, when it pumps, it just dumps back down throughout this whole range. But we're looking to turn that beat around here pretty soon. Looking at the daily time frame. Daily time frame MACD isn't really telling us much. I mean, it's bearishly postured overall, but you typically are when you're at your low points. The stochastics are telling us that we want to continue going higher, right? We've had this same look before here and here and here. Will this time prevail? Will the 4th time be the charm? Can we actually break through this area here and get above the 50? If we can, we likely will progress going into the end of this month, or I mean, maybe the pace even picks up a little bit. Maybe it's the middle of this month. But once we get into the overbought zone, what we're looking for is not a reading like this. We want a reading that's more like this, but in the overbought zone, right? That's what we want to see. So we haven't seen readings like that in quite some time, actually. Something that's more akin to this. That's what we want to see, and we could be there by the middle of this month, if not the later parts of this month, and that should be when the real exciting movements upward start happening. The RSI is coming out of the oversold zone, which is nice. We're getting to points of resistance here, so you can see the RSI and the stochastics. They're not at points of resistance yet, but if they move up a little bit higher, they will be. So it's very possible, dare I say likely even, that whenever we move up to this 0085 to 0095 area, that we do find a little bit of turbulence. It's something to keep in mind there, okay? Weekly time frame, zooming out a little bit more. Just consolidating overall here, right? We are expecting that we'll move up here pretty damn soon. The move that we're looking for from a high to a low, really from this point in time, the target that I'm considering is the golden ratio now, right? The golden ratio. Come on, high to low here. Our 1886 to 200 level, that was the area that we were considering heavily for a very long time there. But I think it makes more sense, and we will get to these levels and beyond, but I think it makes more sense to top off somewhere around 19 cents to 12 cents, somewhere in that range, something of a 17 to a 27x, and we're expecting that this is achieved by the end of 2025, something in this area here. We push on to higher levels going into 2026, but that's the result of this next move. We'll consolidate, whatever, and then we'll continue to rally going into 2026 there. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything I need to say. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. This move more or less is the exact same move that we saw back here. It's a little bit lesser, but still it's a pretty similar move. If you can't get on board with going to 18 cents, that's fine. 19 cents, that's fine. I would at least expect something that is above 12 cents though, by the end result of this next move, right? Even the minimum target 8 cents, almost 9 cents, is about a 12x from here. So there's a lot of potential for XCN as far as growth goes. Excited to see it happen. I got nothing else for you guys. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.